Greetings, Ram fans. Now, most of you regular listeners by now are aware that we have a YouTube channel, trying to get that going. We'll be dropping our podcast as usual, usually Sunday nights, Monday mornings, and we're trying to mix in some videos as well. You've seen Paul Walia and Tom Quartz join me on occasion, but I'm also going to try to start dropping these midweek videos. Kind of fits in between the two episodes. And today I wanted to talk about one thing. Before I get to it, if you're one of the first 50 or 60 or 70 listeners to our most recent podcast, you probably caught my mistake regarding the NBA and their bonuses and how they work. I mucked that up really good. That's on me, my fault entirely. I did release a fixed version, so you may not have heard that. If you didn't hear my mistake, it never happened. But what I wanted to talk about today was my fearsome four Ram players that you should not give up on yet. Four guys that I think a lot of us might be writing off to some degree. And I could be wrong on this, but I still think all four of these guys could make their mark with the Rams. And you know what? All four of them could possibly be cut by opening day. Well, maybe three of them. So let's get right to it. My fearsome four Ram players that you should not give up on quite yet. Number one, Tutu Atwell. Now, I know some of my confidence. Now, I know some of the guys that tune into this and join me on a regular basis have written him off. I haven't. I went back and looked at some video of him in the preseason and his college days. I still think he has the ability to be very dynamic, the potential to be very dynamic at the NFL level. And I'm excited. He has to make the team, though, first. I mean, the Rams have a lot of talent at wide receiver. They got Brandon Powell returning punts. So it's tough. Is he going to supplant Brandon Powell, who we were all thrilled with? And if not, will the Rams carry Tutu in that wide receiver room exclusively as a wide receiver? And he's the fastest guy on this team, on this offense right now. And we really don't have that vertical threat. Maybe when OBJ comes back, we will. But I don't think that's Allen Robinson's forte. I don't think that's Van Jefferson's forte. Yeah, I mean, he'll catch the long ball once in a while, but that's more by design, not by pure speed. So I'm kind of hoping Tutu makes the team, and I think he will. But certainly do not give up on Tutu Atwell yet. I think that would be a mistake. Next up is Terrell Burgess, fearsome four player number two. You should not give up on the safety. He had that horrible ankle injury in his rookie season. Last year, struggled to get on the field. And then the Rams go out and plug in Nick Scott. When Taylor Rapp gets hurt, Nick Scott played well. And we all know what Jordan Fuller brings to the table. And then they draft at least two guys that can play safety in the most recent draft. Where does that leave Terrell Burgess? I'm not sure, but I think it would be a mistake to write him off at this point. I think Terrell Burgess could even potentially be a starter if he plays well in the preseason. Could he beat out Nick Scott? Probably not, but regardless, don't give up on Terrell Burgess quite yet. Fearsome four player number three, don't give up on yet. Terrell Lewis, another Terrell, another guy whose career I think has been held back by the injury. I talked about recently, I talked several times about the fact that I did not think edge rusher, the edge position was a big need for the Rams after losing Von Miller. And John McVay discussed that recently on the Rams website, speaking to the same fact that I spoke to. The Rams pass rush was quite good before Von Miller came aboard. And Terrell Lewis had three straight games with a sack and then basically got pushed off the field when Von Miller came aboard. Terrell Lewis is a very good edge rusher. He just needs to stay healthy. He's got everything you want: explosiveness off the edge, size, demeanor, and everybody's thinking, "Oh, what are the Rams gonna do? They lost Von Miller." I'm not so much worried about that. I'm worried about Terrell Lewis staying healthy, and I'm worried about Chris Garrett being able to step up and contribute. But big mistake to give up on Terrell Lewis. Fearsome for player number 4 not to give up on. Don't write them off quite yet. And that's Jake Funk, the running back. The Rams have Cam Akers and they have Darrell Henderson. Those are obviously the 1-2 right now, right? And then they went out and drafted Kyron Williams. Where does that leave Jake Funk? Well, I think Jake Funk is certainly going to be a special teams contributor. Now, how many running backs are the Rams going to carry? That's the problem. Kyron Williams has to prove it at the NFL level. So does Jake Funk, actually. I think these guys are probably neck and neck in who can contribute the most and who can make this roster. They may end up carrying all 4 of those running backs, but don't write off Jake Funk. Jake Funk, my fearsome 4 player number 2. I'm sorry, my fearsome 4 player number 4 that you should not be writing off Jake Funk, the running back. Well, maybe we'll have some feedback on this by the time we drop our next podcast. Those are my 4 players on the Rams that I think people are making a mistake potentially writing off, forgetting about: Tutu Atwell, Terrell Burgess, Terrell Lewis, and Jake Funk. Out for now. Thanks for joining us.